As you can see, we have hundreds of thousands of parts here, and our shelves are full for anybody, anytime. We've got it in stock, and that's one thing we want to do. We travel around the country, actually globally, finding parts and pieces that we can certify to give ourselves options here on our production line and also other companies. We are able to provide parts from the smallest part up to the largest part of crankcases and crankshafts for anybody or anyone who's looking to do overhaul capabilities on their engines.
Okay, we got thousands of parts here in our new parts area. All these rows here of new parts. We supply all our parts to the engines in-house for Continental and Lycoming. Also try to keep enough stock for outside sales. Get a lot of people calling for anything from O-rings to cylinders. If you brought your engine in-house here, we'd have probably every part that you would need for your engine.
This is Western Skyways turbo normalizing system. What we do is we take a Bonanza that's normally aspirated and we install a turbocharger so that the engine and the airplane thinks that it's at sea level all the way up to 20,000 feet, which is great because the engine loves that. I mean, we're not going to overboost it, we're not going to over torque anything or anything else, but you're going to get better speed, better fuel consumption, and you can fly around the clouds and miss all the thunderstorms and that kind of stuff. Let me just show you some of the components. This is John Frost. He actually does all the installations of the Western Skyways turbo normalizing system. John, help me spin this thing around here a little bit. We've actually changed the intake system. This is the new intake system. It comes around, there's an alternate air door here, a new turbocharger right here, a wastegate, a pop-off relief valve. This is a whole new intake system. And down here, there's an intercooler, which actually cools the intake before it gets to the turbocharger, which is very important because otherwise the intake air would be overheated.
Here in the final assembly department, we take the engine that's given to us from the inspection department. It's assigned to one mechanic. We have 5 mechanics up on the final assembly. It takes usually about a day to a day and a half to complete a full assembly. What we have here is a 520 model. It's been assembled to the power section status. We're just waiting for cylinders to be prepped and hung and torqued. My job is as the lead is to make sure checks and balances are in place. I flex between the mechanics and double check their work is done to quality and safety. Here in this department, we take things extremely personally. We want a product that you can depend on. Customers come back to us and they pull up front out here and they unload their kid in a baby carrier, and that puts a lot of emphasis on what we do here at Western Skyways, because it's number one key thing for us to do is to have you have a safe product that you can depend on.
I've been here since 1975. I've been running engines since 1984, and we run our engines with a flight prop and a governor to put the load on the thrust bearings. The reason we do this is because we want to make sure that this engine will be performing up to its full potential. When you put it in your airplane, we will be confident that it will fly without any problems, and we will have no problems in the future with it. Not every shop has a test cell, and that is one of the advantages that we have. We know that our engines, when they leave here, are performing to their full potential.
When we're helping you decide what engine's best for your needs, it may be necessary to go over the paint scheme. A lot of customers would like some customization done, and one of those things is color. You may be interested in black or powder coated to match your airplane.
As you can see here, we've got a pressurized bearing. We're getting ready to install the freshly overhauled 520 WB engines in. We do STC installation, propeller upgrades, engine upgrades, horsepower increase, STCs. While your aircraft is here for engine change, we can do annual inspections, airframe modifications. Pretty much whatever it is you need, we can do it.
Here at Western Skyways, when we finish an aircraft engine installation, we always take the airplane out for 1 to 2 hour test flight, check everything, make sure everything's working normally, all the parameters are met, and everything is up to spec before we give the aircraft back to the owner.